What's up, everyone? My name's Matt, and welcome back to Formula Foodie, a show about food, Formula One, and the ways that I enjoy food culture around the world. This week, I want to break down all of the dishes we covered this year with the Formula Foodie 2025 tier list. Now, some of these I feel like I executed pretty well, and some of them I know I have room for improvement. So, this is not by any means a judgment of the dishes themselves, just my execution of them and maybe what I would do in the future to improve upon them. I'm sure other people make these dishes even tastier than I can, and I want to learn from that and just grow in the future. I've pulled up our tier list here. Thank you to Open Tier Boy for the open source ad-free tier list. And down here you can see we've got all of our wonderful dishes that we made this year. Insane to think that we made all of these. So we'll be going in order of how I released them. So where better to start than Australia with our barramundi. This one, it did very well. I was pretty surprised that I kind of felt like I knocked it out of the park on the first try, but there were some stumbling blocks along the way. So I'll definitely give this one an A. Those potatoes, delicious. That lemony flavor throughout the dish was fantastic. Next, we'll move on to the Chongqing chicken. This one has a lot of potential. The chicken itself, before being added to the spices, was very good, but I'm not sure I got the proportion of aromatics to chicken perfectly right. It was a bit spicy and maybe the consistency could have been a little bit improved upon. I'll go ahead and drop that into the C tier for now. I definitely want to do better at this one, so execution, I'll get better. Next, we come to the Nikujaga stew. It was definitely not something I had ever tasted something like before. It seemed sort of like a similar meat and potato stew, but the flavor was very different. I feel like there's an extra something there that could be achieved. I'll put this in B for now. Maybe I'll promote it to A later, but I want to see how I feel. Up next, we have the chicken makbous. This one is pretty straightforward. I think I could have gone a little bit more audacious with a recipe here. I played it safe. It tastes good. No knock to the flavors, but again, I feel like maybe I could have done a little bit extra to make it just that bit over the edge. Up next, we have the mutabak and chili paste. Now this one, the chili paste was great. And honestly, I might give that its own picture here in a second. But I definitely messed up the dough on the mutabak, and it was definitely, a far cry from what I think it really needed to be. So I'll go ahead and toss that into C. I definitely want to improve upon how to get that to just come together better. Now here we have probably one of my favorites I can tell already of this whole list, and definitely one that deserves to be up in the S tier is the pan con minuta. I didn't have high hopes for my bread, but it ended up turning out pretty good. And that fish sandwich, those tangy flavors of that sauce we put on top, man, it really knocked it out of the park. Loved this one. Definitely going straight to the S tier. Up next, we have our chicken cacciatore. This one was good. Another one that wasn't really venturing too far into the culinary depths, but was a very delicious, straightforward dish. I can definitely put this one into A, confident that I'll be making it again at some point this winter whenever I want a nice, hearty chicken and tomato dish. After that, I made a pissaladière and beet salad. This one, it can be an interesting balance. A bit of an overload with the anchovy umami flavors in the flatbread, and I feel like maybe there was a bit more that I could have added to the salad to really spruce it up. I'm happy to put this in the B because I know there's enough room left for improvement, but it was still very good. The tapas here really did actually surprise me. I thought that maybe just those different vegetables roasted in the oven was going to be a little too simple, but you gotta trust simplicity sometimes. This one, I'm happy to report, we can put up into the A tier. Next, we have one that also surprised me, the crema catalan and the date squares. While being from different countries, Spain and Canada, I decided to put these together on a dessert episode, and the crema catalan was just a beautiful take on a traditional creme brulee. with that extra citrusy flavor that I think honestly puts it over a regular creme brulee. And those date squares, man, those were delicious. You'd think they'd be dry, but they add just enough sweetness without pushing it over the edge. I definitely can see myself putting these in the A tier as well. Here next we have Kaiserschmarrn for Austria. This one I really enjoyed. That compote with the rhubarb and strawberry was killer. I definitely burnt a little bit of the bottom of the pancake when I was making it, so there is a bit of a touch you have to have with that cast iron pan to get it nice and cooked through, but also not just burn and crystallize the bottom and get it all dark. So I'm gonna give myself a B for that. I definitely want to improve. It was delicious, but it needs that extra touch. Up next was one that I was very hopeful would be good, and I'm very proud to say I felt like I knocked out of the park, the Saag Paneer, or Palak Paneer. This is just one of my favorite curry dishes, and I was very happy to get those warm spinach flavors. The paneer just really seared well and all tied together with a very delicious flavor. I'm very happy about this one, definitely coming back to it in the future. Moving on to Belgium, we have the stooflies and the frites that we made. This is another one that I think with just a little bit of tweaking for the flavor and just kind of nailing that beer but mustardy but sweet but hearty meat flavor, I feel like you can really get this one up to an A. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in B for now. It's definitely good, but I also want to improve upon that one. For Hungary, I am very happy to report that I was full after this next one. The mushroom paprikash really took me by surprise. I didn't quite think that this one was going to be such a deep and intense flavor without overpowering. It definitely has such a warm paprika and tomato flavor. Pair that with the nice, cool sour cream and mix that in with some nice dumplings. This is a beautiful dish. I love it very much and will definitely be coming back to it as well. After a bit of an extended summer break, we went to Singapore, where I made a laksa lemak. And when you can nail that coconut curry balance with the spice and all of those ingredients that bring together those fats and those acids, this one really was amazing. I feel like there's a bit more that I want to do to get the right color and sort of balance out the spice level a little bit more. So that's definitely going to the top of the A tier. Almost S, but I gotta just work on it a little bit more. Next, we have the fajitas tacos. I went safe here, I'll admit it. I've done this before, and it tastes fine. It's pretty good. I definitely want to improve upon maybe learning a few more things about how to spice this up. But it was good. I'll put it down in C just because I feel like I needed to give it a little bit more effort. Up next here, we have the chilaquiles. Now this is one that has a lot of potential. I feel like we nailed the chips, a very simple process that yields a terrific result. But the salsa definitely takes time and experience to know how to get exactly what you want out of that flavor profile. I wanted to get a little bit more spice in there and a little bit more complexity, so I'll be giving myself a B for this one. I know that there's a higher ceiling, and I just want to attain that chilaquiles flavor that I know. Maybe I'll have to go with a red salsa next time. Perhaps the green salsa just didn't do it for me, but it's there, just got to dig it out. Next, I'll move on to the moqueca. This one was good. I was fearing it might be a little too similar to the laksa. It ended up having its own Brazilian flair to it, and the addition of those pineapple spears was definitely a nice little treat to counter some of the spice and acidity. I'll put that in the A tier, but I know that with a little bit more tweaking, it could definitely be up with the laksa as well. And now we'll move on to our second to last, which is the tuna involtini. This Italian dish was very good. The frigola salad, perfection. I loved the acidity and the balance with all of those ingredients, delicious. The tuna itself cooked up nicely, got a good sear on it, but the inside, I was left just wanting a little bit more flavor. I know that maybe adding a bit more cheese, going a little bit heavier with some of the other internal ingredients like maybe the anchovies would have added more flavor and more depth. I definitely could have brought this up higher, so I'll go ahead and drop this one into the A tier. It's good, but it could be an S tier if done correctly. And last but not least, I didn't actually get a chance to try the apple tart. I'm sure it was delicious, and I'm going to put it up in the A tier just because it's a stunning looking apple tart. And there we have it. That's 2025 done and dusted. We have one more race left. This is my tier list for all of the dishes that I was able to recreate, and I think this is pretty representative of how I feel. I definitely loved those S tier dishes. The panko minuta fish sandwich, the saag paneer curry, and the mushroom paprikash. I really have a hard time finding any flaws with those. I would definitely recommend you jump on those if you're looking for a fun dish to recreate. The panko minuta is a bit of effort, the saag paneer takes a little bit of time, and the paprikash, you definitely need some technique to get those dumplings nice and the right texture and consistency, but they're definitely worth that extra effort. I also wanted to extend a huge thank you to our PA Lauren, who gave us insightful tips on baking skills and making sure everything was consistent, and for our editor and videographer David. Without your guys' help, the cooking process, the editing, and the vibes would not have been the same, so deeply appreciate all your help. None of this would have been possible without both of you, and to my loving wife Talia as well. And with that, I leave you with the final race of the year. Go enjoy it. It's going to be a tight one. We got 3 guys gunning for that top spot at the top of the World Championship. I'm going for Lando. I'm happy if it's Piastri, and if Max gets it, that's going to just be something amazing and outstanding, the biggest comeback ever. Go enjoy yourselves. I'll catch you next time. Peace.